Good evening. Hold on, I got there we go. That's a little better. How's it going, everybody? Let me just see here. Yes, admit. How are you, Michael? Alex, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, it failed. It failed. Let me just see. Maybe I'll try again in a bit. I don't know. Hey, Neil, how's it going? Good to see you. I'm trying to gift everybody in chat, but for some reason it didn't gift memberships to people in the chat, unless there's people lurking and then they got them. I don't know. But anyways, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. Had some free time this evening and felt like coming on and kind of chatting about like the poll. I mean, I have had some weird experiences that I can't explain, and that is beyond investigating the paranormal. I mean, I've had experiences while investigating the paranormal, but I've also had experiences outside the investigative sort of aspect of things, and it's kind of weird because I mean, well, it kind of made me want to. Hey, Jack, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I know, I know. But for some reason, yesterday, when I was on live, somebody in chat gifted, and somebody in the chat got the gift. So I mean, that was pretty cool. I know it's randomly picked. I was hoping that people in the chat would have gotten them randomly, but yeah. So it randomly picked five people. But anyways, hope we're all well. Hope you're all doing good. And I will stress once again that bullying will not be tolerated, zero tolerance. So, I mean, if there's any issues in the chat or elsewhere, you'll be banned. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to put up with it. So, we're just here to have a good time. That's all. So, I always got to get that out. Because, anyways, going on about what I was going on about the experiences, like the personal experiences that I've had that I can't explain really got me into wanting to know more about what possibly is going on. And I mean, I've always had an interest in, as you can see, abandoned places and the atmosphere they generate. I'm not saying that everything is paranormal. Everything doesn't have like a ghostly sort of scenario to it. Some places do. Some places have things that, hey, Lorenzo, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. That aren't, um, you know, seen every day, that you can't explain, that science can't explain. I mean, and that's the wonderful thing about it. I mean, when science has trouble explaining that little bit, that little area, that 1%, that 1%. Yeah, electric bill, exactly. That brings nightmares indeed. Yeah, any bill. Oh my god, the end of the month and the beginning of the month, that bill, that dreaded bill that you thought would not show up, or the call. You haven't paid your bill, pay it now. They come after you, the bill collectors. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is. But I mean, outside of everyday life, and this pretty much is outside everyday life. I mean, let's face it. I mean, it's not normal um, to experience something that just is not, you know, okay. This isn't normal. This is abnormal, absolutely abnormal, and I just don't understand. And you have to think over and over. Me, it's like you're trying to process. You're trying to process what just happened, and you just no matter what, all the scenarios, all the normal scenarios that play out in your mind are just like, no, God, no, that's not it. It just doesn't compute. And most people just, that's it. They leave it alone, and then, life goes on. But me and a lot of other people want to know more about that. Why? Why did that happen? And some people go to the ends of the earth to try to explain exactly what just had happened. It's just, it's and I'll talk a little bit about the experiences that I've had over the years. But I mean, if you guys have, something that you'd like to share, obviously, you're more than welcome to come up or just in chat. I could read it in chat. I don't know how well my reading is. I might screw a few things up, but that's not normal. I mean, that's normal. That's not paranormal for me. So, yeah. But I mean, if you guys have an experience that you want to get out there for people to sort of, well, it doesn't have to be paranormal, just unknown, just like high strangeness, like just wait, what just happened? What just happened? Something just happened. What? I don't know. And that's what drives me to want to know more. I mean, hey, alien, how's it going? I, before the research and the investigative side of me started like more than 20 years ago, I really, really, I again, I had an interest in it. It was there. It was always there because I mean, I had things that happened at a young age that just like wow, what when you're you're a kid. Uh, like I said, I remember one time. I remember one time, and I've kind of told this story before. I was probably about maybe 11, 12 years old, and I was sleeping, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I had to go to the washroom. I turned my night light on, and I put my glasses on because yeah, I had to wear glasses back then too. But I got up. I'm not fully awake, um, and I got up to go to the washroom, open my bedroom door, and as I opened my bedroom door, I just, here's the framing. Like, see that frame in the background? That the door frame? That's, I open the door and all of a sudden I see this arm just like kind of this, you know, going by the door frame as if it's feeling in the dark as to where it's going because there's no light. And I'm like, holy shit. And I remember distinctively every detail, like the hair on the arm, and there was a little some blood on the arm, and I'm like, holy shit. I slammed my door back, closed the door, and I'm like, holy crap. Uh, did they just kill my parents? What the somebody's in the house. And I'm like, I'm yelling to my parents, dad, wake up, are you there? And no answer. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm like, I'm just like scared shitless. I mean, I'm 12, 13, whatever years old, and I finally dredged up enough nerve to open that door back up and run to my parents' room. And I ran into the room and I'm like yelling and I woke my dad up abruptly. Thank God everything was okay. And I'm like, Dad, there's somebody in the house. They just went by my room, by the door, and they're downstairs. I had him looking throughout the whole house. The whole house. Hey Tracy, how are you? Good to see you. I had them, you know, throughout the whole house. I'm like, there's somebody in the house. I swear there's somebody here. And I would not let them sleep until the whole house was checked thoroughly. I don't care. I look under the stairs, look under here, look there, the basement, you name it. You know, tell me there's nobody in the house. And thankfully, there's nobody in the house, thankfully. But was it my imagination that was, I was still waking up. I was still, semi-conscious, but was my mind playing tricks? And that's the question. I mean, every detail was so vivid. Was I just like still in a dreamlike state? And whatever I was dreaming was like carried over to real life, and it was just ending. I don't know, But that haunted me for many years, and then I remember years later doing a little bit of research on that place where we lived at the time, and I found out that there was a man had been murdered years before, in the I believe it was in the early 60s, and that was built in the early 60s. Um, and there was, a basement hallway that connected all the units. Hey, Sue, how are you? Good to see you. All the basement units, right? They had that basement door that connected, and you could go down to the laundry room and do your laundry, and so on and so on. And that had access to the outside, and well, to go upstairs. And of course, that was locked. You couldn't get in. But it's like, what? This is crazy. This is okay. So, hey, Poncho, does this have anything to do with what I witnessed that night? So I'm like, okay, is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible that there's a connection? That there's a connection that what I witnessed was that person who was murdered. I mean, the possibilities. I mean, it's possible, right? I'm not saying that's what happened, but I mean, it's possible, right? I mean, let's face it. I mean, we don't know everything about the paranormal. That's why it's unknown. Science can only theorize what's happening after death, right? I mean, it is very possible, right? Come on, guys. Tell me, is it possible? Did I actually witness? Or do you think it was just a dream, a nightmare, my semi-conscious mind playing tricks on me? What was it? What do you guys think? I mean, yeah, I'm crazy. We all know that. I'm the first one to admit I'm crazy, but that's why I love the paranormal. That's why I investigate the paranormal, right? I mean, we all are crazy, right? Kind of like what? I mean, we don't want to be normal. I mean, what normal is boring. But anyways, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what do you guys take from that story? I mean, your thoughts. Tell me, and don't be bashful. Come on. But like I said, I never had a chance to actually go back and do a proper investigation, nor did I have a chance to talk to other tenants in that building if they had had experiences. But I really should go back and talk to some of the people and ask them, and say, hey, look at if you guys had any experiences that you can't kind of explain, so on and so on. I really need to do that. But like I said, doing the research. But years later, um, I had an apartment in that same building, a different apartment, and I remember actually this is the incident that sparked me to further investigate, the possibility of something weird is going on in this place. Um, the possibility um, that there is some sort of link, but having this other apartment, myself and girlfriend at the time, now wife, we both work nights. We both work nights, and I left work. I wasn't feeling very well. I remember leaving work. I think I got home about 2 o'clock in the morning, and getting home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we had a cat, a tabby, gray tabby cat named Goblin, and we, I settled down, sat in front of the computer, and the computer back then was on the main level, you know, and just surfed the net mindlessly, just surfing whatever. Because I mean, back then, the net was like the Wild West. I mean, you literally could find anything and everything on the net, and discover all sorts of really cool stuff. Um, and I had, like I said, I was kind of really into, into the paranormal. Obviously, I was researching it. And I remember, just beyond, no, I had no lights on. There was no lights on whatsoever. And the cat was sleeping on a mat at the doorway. And, I'm surfing the net. And then all of a sudden, there was like this strange implosion of light. It was really weird. It was like, like that. And a burst of light. And then it disappeared. And I'm like, okay, what was that? So but what the telling factor that I wasn't crazy, it wasn't just me, my cat was on all fours looking right up above him. So he noticed it as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going crazy here. Something did happen. So, I mean, like trying to compute exactly what happened. Okay, maybe a light bulb went, a fuse went, you know, whatever. So, you check everything. You check the light switch, everything's working, everything's fine, the light bulb's fine. Went down to the fuse box, checked to make sure the fuse hasn't blown. No, the fuse was fine. It wasn't tripped. So I'm like, what did happen? What exactly just happened? And this is in the same building, but like probably about almost 20 years later. Not quite, maybe about 15 years later. 15 years later after I had seen my experience when I was a kid. So I'm like, from one end to the building to the other, I'm like, okay, is this also a part of what is going on? Is this place, this plot of land that this building on, is it a portal? I mean, what's the possibility that something weird is happening here and we can't understand what it is? I mean, is there glitches going on? What? Because I mean, the chances of having two really weird incidents happen in a course of say 15 years, give or take, that this could possibly happen. It's just weird. I mean, guys, explain it to me. What you guys are awfully quiet, chat. Come on. Come on. Talk to me, guys. Let me know your thoughts on that story. You guys are awfully quiet. Um, let me put this. I'm just going to look at okay, so the poll is 50-50. We'll keep it up for a little while longer. Hey, Pop, how was it? How you doing? Hope you're well. And once again, that's a couple experiences I had, and this was before I legitimately began to investigate the paranormal. It was legitimately like trying to understand exactly what it meant. Um, and I have to tell you, when I looked at the paranormal, it was never about actively going out to, look for ghosts. That wasn't what this to me was all about. I mean, if they wanted to show themselves, then great, by all means. But let's be responsible. Let's really understand what's going on. So explain the explainable. I mean, that was always my motto. Explain exactly what is going on, and then get down to the root. Get down to the root. You know, if you can explain it or recreate it, then obviously it's not paranormal, right? But I mean, if everything is outside that sort of scientific model of understanding, then there's a possibility that, okay, hey, then we really need to look at that and say, we possibly have something here. Let's further investigate. So, I mean, me, it was always okay. Throw it out to somebody who has a little bit more experience or a little bit more knowledge at the time than I had, or like almost like peer reviewed, right? Because let's face it, that's what science is all about, right? Peer review. Neil, okay, let me just read here. My first experience was when I was 8. I walked into garden of one of I can't really old dialect homes, houses, front door wide open. Let me just go see if I beautiful antique furniture, but it's the old man lying in the tall grass I see. Oh yeah, so what do you think? What are your thoughts on that old man in the tall grass that you see? Yeah, they were Michael. They were kind of unnerving, to be honest. Like, I mean, when you're 11, 12 years old and you experience what you see, what I saw, it's just like, wow, okay. I mean, it's a real. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Good to see you. It's a real eye opener. It really does open your eyes. You know what? I'll open this up. I mean, this is an open discussion on all this, and sharing your experiences and so on and so on. You're more than welcome to come on up. And again, please, again, verify yourself, because I'm not putting up with any crap. I'll tell you that right now. I will pin it to the top, and there we go. I will just let me look at the uh so no. So 54 saying no, 46 saying yes for the chat. I mean for the poll. So Neil, what do you okay, here. My dad said house was empty years, said I imagined it, but can you still see his head turn? Yeah, that's a thing, right? I mean, that's the awkward thing, the thing that stays with you for life. That subtle moment of unnerving unease, and it's like a bad, movie, you know, playing out over and over and over. And as you get older, it kind of fades. But some people, like, they retain it like it was yesterday, and they try really hard to understand exactly what happened with the knowledge. As you get older, obviously you gain more knowledge and more experience with life and everything else, of course. But I mean, if you actively investigate or research the paranormal, you look at it from a different sort of standpoint than many do. Um, and responsibly, hopefully. I mean, there's a lot of irresponsible people out there that like to claim, um, you know, false paranormal, and so on and so on, which is a shame. You have a responsibility to not only to yourself, but the people that you represent and the group that you represent, but obviously the people who are, you're trying to help. You know, it's your responsibility to put them at ease and say, look, it most likely what's happening here is not paranormal, but we can explain it by this, right? I don't know how many times, and I've said this a million times. Yeah, we all know James. We all know. How you doing, James? Good to see you. We know, we absolutely know that there are many people out there that actively go into an investigation and fuel the fire, fuel it, and it's a shame because you're not a part. You don't live there. You haven't lived there. You don't have to live there on a daily basis. These people do, and now you have heightened their unease to a a level that, in some cases, people would probably sell that house to get out of there because you have told them you absolutely have something going on here that is malevolent or so on and so on. Antrim in 80s had tons of hauntings connected to history. Love that feeling of being alone, not being alone. Yeah, over there, you guys, the history it just oozes with so many locations. You know, I envy you guys. I really do. I mean, there's so much history there in the UK, and many parts of Europe, obviously. But yeah, in the UK, it's just incredible. My first sighting of a full shadow figure was had an abandoned asylum with 7 friends. Ooh, Ryan, that's key. 7 friends. I'm just kidding. 7 friends. We walked through the over 2 miles of tunnels. As we were leaving, a 4-foot tall shadow kid was outside. Wow, interesting. I mean, I have a shadow figure experience too. I will share absolutely in a bit. But once again, if anybody wants to come up, click the link. You're more than welcome to come up. We're just actively open discussions about all these wonderful experiences and stories and so on and theories and whatever. This is completely open you know and once again I will reiterate there's zero tolerance towards any bullying whatsoever. I will not tolerate it. Will not. You will be banned immediately. My first paranormal experience happened when I was 9 and had, oh, sorry, and I heard phantom whistling and footsteps, and then the door flung open by itself. Wow, interesting, Michael. And to continue Ryan's story, the shadow kid ran across a field into a brick wall. We ran over to look at the building. The building was completely boarded up, and we could also see the grass move when he ran off. Interesting. So you can't. No, look at you can fly. You can throw as many burritos at Alex if you want. Absolutely, he's probably lurking in chat still. So yeah, if you want to throw some burritos at Alex, go right ahead. That is allowed. Throwing burritos is fine. We don't. That's fine. We don't mind throwing burritos around. So you're safe there, James. Pump has an. I had an experience at the Jamaica Inn. Disembodied voice recorded on a phone inside partner's handbag, and a pulsating light appearing for a few seconds in the early hours. Ooh, interesting. So, what are your thoughts, Pump? What do you think it was? I mean, any link to the location? Do you think? What do you think? Have you done any more research on that or more into it? That's interesting. That is really cool. And once again, guys, um, we have memberships. They're relatively cheap and you cancel at any time. Again, we're trying to get, and I hate doing this. I really do. I can't stand it. But in order for us to kind of reach our goal, guys, I just want to say thank you to those who are already like members and have donated with the super chats and bought merch. We're about one quarter, or actually one quarter. We're about a quarter away from paying for our for the whole year of StreamYard. I want to thank you again. Um, hold on. There we go. And there I got. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of. Let me get rid of this. And again, what's the deal with memberships? You guys, I create content, and the deal is it's a month-to-month thing. Hey, Sky Talker. Hi, Sky Talker. How are you? It's a month-to-month thing, and literally it just goes to it goes to us. I think the bottom tier one is like 3. But anyways, I started creating content for members only. I've already released one, the Devil's Mound, but that one that is members only right now. So you get a lot of behind the scenes sort of thing with stuff that I shoot content wise. The full vid, which I will be shooting actually probably Friday, next week Friday. I'll probably shoot the whole thing because that dumbass me, like I said, I forgot my DJI, so I shot it on my iPhone. So I shot some content, some behind the scenes sort of content for members only. The actual full feature, if you will be members only for the first 2 days, and then it will be released to the public. So you will eventually see it. You don't have to be a member, but the membership only helps us pay for StreamYard for here when we do the actual shows on Sunday nights. Getting the guests and so on, scheduling guests and so on and so on. So that's what it is, Lorenzo. It gives you extra perks. Um, and depending on what you do, actually, our good friend Justin, who is a Nocturnal master, who got he can guest host with us. You get the guest host with us too if you get the top tier. You get the guest host with us for a show. So if you guys want to do it, then obviously you're more than welcome. But anything that helps us pay for a whole year of StreamYard. That's what we're actively trying to do, or at least, yeah, with this. I don't like. Well, thank you very much, Sky Talker. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much. Awesome. You're awesome. Thank you. Uh, Let me just get that down. I want to thank you and that's you're awesome. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And again, well, thank you, Tracy, for being a member. Really appreciate it. Again, like I said, the memberships, they add up and they help us. Every little bit helps out. Because I think the last time I looked for StreamYard for the full 1080p streaming package, I think it's like $460 US, I believe. So yeah, we're about a third away so far after the first month. I thank you guys. Really, really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome for donating and the super chats and the memberships and so on and so on. You guys, we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. Obviously, I mean, we'll probably pay a portion. I paid for this month of StreamYard just to keep things going. Sky Talker, thank you very much for becoming a member as well. Once again, more content, behind the scenes stuff. I mean, and you guys let me know. You guys let me know what you'd like to see. If you would like to see anything, if we're able to do it, we'll do it. And we'll have members only chats as well. Live streams for members only, like live on location streams for members only. We'll probably do. And so on and so on. Thank you, Jack Daniels. Jack Daniel Photos. Thank you for becoming a nocturnal being. You guys rock. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And again, every little bit helps. But anyways, once again, the link is open if anybody wants to pop in and tell us your story, or if you got something that you want to say. Did I miss a story? Hold on. Let me see. Let me just go back in the chat here. James, I've seen real orbs in and about my old house, have heard voices and seen things move that shouldn't have. My childhood was full of happenings. Yeah, I wish my childhood was like that. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of experiences when I was a kid. I had things that did happen, but nothing crazy like a lot of people out there experienced. You take care, Ryan. See you later. Um, I, you know, it's funny when I started first actively investigating and researching. That's when I think that's when a lot of the experiences really. Charlie Tango, Mr. Tony. Thank you very much, sir. You kick. You know what? But you're actively supporting us. I want to thank you, Tony. Once again, you're the best. Thank you, bud. Really appreciate it. Um, it was when I actively started to investigate and research the paranormal that things really started to get crazy. I mean, like I think my mind was opened a lot more to things now that things were, happening um with the paranormal, in connection with the paranormal. Rather they were paranormal or not, it didn't matter. The fact was they were different. They didn't make sense. um I mentioned I had a shadow being experience, and I'll tell you that. And a lot of you know about me and my kind of crypto crypt kind of crypto being, if you will. I don't know. Experience. And a lot of people seem to think it was a dog man that I had encountered. And once I'll go over it one more time, but for those that don't know the story, I was working midnights. I left work early, and then it's funny how this stuff happens when I leave work early, right? Yeah, somebody's like keeping an eye on me, or whatever. But I was walking home, had my headset and listening to Art Bell, Coast to Coast, back in the day when Coast to Coast was good, when it was great. Nobody beats Art Bell. But I'm actively, just walking home, and I used to do that. I walked home. Uh, 2 hours it would take me to walk home. But you know what? In the summer, it didn't matter. In the fall, it didn't matter. In the spring, it didn't matter. The weather was good enough. I would walk home, no problem. And just 2 o'clock in the morning, the peace was great. I'm walking up down this road, suburban road, like literally dead at that time in the morning, 2 a.m. Hardly any cars on the road, neighborhoods. And I'm walking up to this bridge, and the bridge was sectioned off by each direction. So there was two bridge, one for each direction, and a grassy knoll in between them, with a fence, like guardrail in between, and a tree. And the tree was young, probably just planted within the last, you know, couple years at the time. And I'm walking up to, you know, to this bridge. And just before I get to the bridge, I noticed on the other side what looked like a coyote coming up from the other side and walking along the road, crossing the road, and going to the center medium, the grassy medium. And it stopped. I stopped, and I'm watching this. I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, coyote. I'll just take it easy. I'll let him go on his way. It didn't go on its way. Instead, it stood on its hind legs. I'm like, okay. My brain's computing this and going, what the hell is going on? Sue, thank you very much. Thank you again. You know, appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the gang, the Nocturnal beings. But I'm watching. I'm watching. Thank you again, Sue. I'm watching this thing, and it's like a Mexican standoff. We're staring at each other. Who's going to move first? And I'm like, what's going on here, man? It's standing on its hind legs. What the hell stands on its hind legs? And it's thin, very frail, like. And I know canines can stand on their hind legs, but not for very long. We're reaching the 5-minute mark here. Wait a sec. This has got to be something else. It's not a coyote. What is this? And then when it was standing up on its hind legs, it was probably about 5 feet in height. It was, yeah, is this like a mangy bear maybe? All these thoughts went through my head, the possibilities of what it could possibly be or what's going on. Well, there's no bear in that area. None. Bears are more north of where this area was, where I was walking. So I'm thinking other animals in this area. A deer can stand up on its hind legs, but not for very long. This is going on this is almost 10 minutes now. It's still just standing there effortlessly, staring me down as I'm staring it down. Like I said, a standoff. Okay, what the hell's going on here? This doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Then it finally dropped down to all fours and then walked to my side of the road, crossed, and then went back down underneath the bridge and disappeared. So I'm like, I'm going to wait a little while before I walk that way because that's the way I was walking to cross the bridge. But I'm taking my time because in case that thing decides to come back up, I don't want to have a closer encounter. So I waited about 5 minutes, nothing. Then I walked gingerly, got to the bridge, looked beside the bridge, nothing, can't see anything. Walked further down the bridge, looked down below, and there was a river that ran along the bottom and a trail. Nothing. I couldn't see anything. Nothing. I'm like, what did I just witness? What did I don't know what. And you know what? I'll bring it up here. I'll find it. That experience stayed in the back of my mind for years. And it wasn't until, okay, let me just pull this up here. I'll do the, and I'm going to share. I can't open this up any further. Let me see if I open this in another window. No. Oh, can't do that. Let's see if I can just open the, can I save image as creature? Okay, so let me see. Pictures. I'll save it, see if I can blow it up maybe. Let's see here. So again, it was years later that I kind of like, okay, something's going on. When I started doing this show back in 2008, I again started because I I started investigating the paranormal in 96, 97. I formed Southern Ontario Paranormal Society in 2005 to open up things and try to, you know, connect, network with people, to have a better understanding of what's going on locally and then, you know, all over the place. I've traveled all over North America pretty much, to places in the States and here in Canada, um, and have actively investigated since 96, um, and have actively, I probably well over, you know, close to 300 investigations under my belt. Now, would I call myself an expert? No. I'm always learning. I'm always learning. I'm always a student. But anyways, back to this story. Welcome back, Ryan. Now, when I started, when I created Nocturnal Frequency Radio, myself and Alex have made friends with a lot of people, a lot of well-known people in the paranormal over the years. And we became good friends with a journalist, by the name of Chris Hawley, who was located in Long Island, New York. And she was a well-known um, UFO, anything high strange, really. She reported on and researched and wrote. She was a journalist for a few publications, including UFO Digest back in the day. And she was on the show. She had been on the show many times, and I never talked about the story. And then all of a sudden, I said, "You know what? Maybe I should talk to Chris about this experience I had." And live on the show one time, I started telling her about it, and it resonated with her. She needed to know more. She wanted to know more about that experience. So call me after this show, after we're live. You know, talk. I need to talk to you about this. I want to write. I want to write and research this a little bit more. I'm like, absolutely, no problem. So I gave her a call after the show, and I told her, you know, exactly, you know, what I told you guys, and she wrote an article called "The Thing on the Bridge," and it was published in UFO Digest, and things blew up. She was receiving a lot of emails and calls about my experience. She received a couple emails from people who were living in that area that had similar experiences years later, probably about maybe close to 10 years later, 2012, somewhere 2013, whatever. And pretty much describing the same sort of scenario, you know, what I had witnessed, they had witnessed similar. And you know, so things just blew up. I'm doing more research, and I stumbled upon a story that was published, that was covered for the Toronto Sun, which is a publication here in Toronto, or in Toronto there, about a sighting that they called the Toronto Tunnel Creature, or the Toronto Tunnel Monster. And there was an artist rendition on the front cover of the publication, and the story inside, and basically told of a man who was out walking his dog late at night. The dog got off leash, or he let go of the leash. I can't remember. The leash slipped away, and the dog ran off into like a storm drainage area. He went in after the dog, and when he got in there, he got the dog. He looked up and he saw this creature. And I'll show you. Hold on, let me just pull this up here. I don't need that. Hopefully, I can like blow the picture up a little bit more. Okay, so there we can. Let me just. So this is the artist rendition that was on the front page of the newspaper. Share screen. So there you go. So yeah, there you go. And when I saw this picture, I'm like, holy crap, that is almost to the T similar to what I had witnessed with my experience walking home that one day. Now, minus the red eyes. Now, the red eyes are quite simply when an animal, when light reflects off the irises of an animal, that's what you get. Redness. Pretty much any animal, you get redness. The eyes glow red. So that's why I'm gathering that, the red eyes. But I did not uh, witness red eyes. I mean, I don't think I was that close enough to even if there was light reflecting off its eye, I wasn't close enough, I think, to see that. So the description was pretty much on par with what I experienced. So I'm like, okay, is it quite possible that these sewer creatures, if you will, because I mean, let's face it, these tunnels, these runoff tunnels, these sewer tunnels, they connect for miles, right? And there's like literally hundreds of them that run throughout the cities and so on and so on. My The area in which I had, like I said, there was a bridge, and it crossed the bridge and back underneath, came up from underneath. When I went back to look at that area underneath the bridge, right directly there is runoff tunnel, is runoff, rain runoff, tunnels that were fenced off. You couldn't get into. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but I mean, they didn't make it. They didn't make it easy for you to get in there or whatever. But let's see. That is similar to Bill Raskin on the Bridgewater Triangle had an experience with what they call puckwudgies, small, hairy, little gremlin. Yeah, puckwudgies. Yeah, I'm very familiar with puckwudgies. Um, this was not small though. I mean, like I said, it was relatively tall when it stood up on its hind legs, about 5 feet. So I mean, it wasn't small. It was very, very like pretty tall. Like that's what made me think, okay, what the hell is this? It just doesn't make any sense what this could possibly be. Tom, good to see you, my man. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, sir. So there you go. There's the Toronto tunnel creature artist rendition from a 1978, I believe. The witness. It's a fairly big weasel, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's a damn big one. 5 feet. That's a big weasel. Um, but yeah, similar to what I had experienced when I did. But let's see if I can maybe see. Let me see. I will see if I can pull up the news. Let me see here if I can pull up the news. Uh, share screen. Oh, let me see. I'll go back to the newspaper clipping. Here we go. There's the clipping there. Of course, you can't really, almost like monkey, eyes orange red. But here we go. Let me pull that up here. So that's my experience. But there's the clip. I mean, the newspaper clipping. Cabbagetown is a part of Toronto. Well, I think a lot of people think that, but being an active hiker and trail runner for many years, your instinct sort of kicks in, and most of the time, a lot of these, coyotes and so on would simply chase you and outrun you. Let's be honest. But hold on. Sorry, I'm just reading. Sorry, guys, just answering message here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah. Hey, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. So that's the report from the Toronto tunnel creation. I believe. Let me just. I gotta verify. I think it's 1978 that this was actually 1979. Um, Ernest was his name. So in March 1979, a man named Ernest approached Toronto newspaper with a terrifying tale. He was terrified about his experience, but also embarrassed about it. I mean, most people are. So he opted to use only his first name. The previous year, so it did happen in 1978, but this happened. This rather intriguing encounter. He claimed to have had a terrifying encounter near his Parliament Street apartment, and he felt compelled to tell other Torontonians about what was living under their streets. And let me tell you, like a lot of large cities, these sewer systems and runoff systems, they're massive and they connect for miles, hundreds of them. The being eventually became known as the Cabbagetown Tunnel Monster. According to Ernest, he was caring for some feral kittens near his home. Okay, so I kind of screwed up the story. After one of them had seemingly gone missing, he went looking for it and eventually found himself inside one of the secret underground tunnels. Through the darkness with a small flashlight as he only as his only guide, he stumbled upon a small creature. He had described it as thin with long legs, almost like a monkey, and about the size of a child. It had piercing and slanted eyes that glowed a terrifying blood red. So again, that was most likely the light coming from his flashlight reflecting off its eyes. The creature turned towards him in the darkness and hissed at him to get out. Ernest obliged and quickly ran out of the tunnel. So it actually spoke to him. Hissed, get out. Wow. Or hissed to get him out. I don't know how to make that, but the telling of the story seemed authentic, and Ernest was fully convinced of what he had seen. He was sure that this creature lived in the secret tunnel system. Some speculated that this encounter could be connected to aliens, and other even purported that Toronto was built on some kind of alien encampment. Okay, so now we're getting way out there, but interesting. Others were sure it was a humanoid monster, like an urban Bigfoot living amongst the rats and other feral creatures of the tunnel system. And let's be honest, we really don't know what's down there. You never know what could be living down there because they never see the light of day or they come out at night. We just don't know. A few people were sure that Ernest simply saw an urban animal, and in the darkness of uncertainty of the tunnels, he was simply confused. However, as his story has been retold over the years, others have pointed to a much older explanation. Ooh, yeah. So I mean, let's see. Hold on. The unexplained presence of skinny, hairy monsters aren't the only thing that have been found in the tunnels under Toronto. In 1908, construction workers building a tunnel in the Toronto harbor may have discovered a priceless archaeological artifact, perhaps the earliest recorded of human presence around Lake Ontario, created thousands and thousands of years before. The workers discovered a slab of ancient clay that had simply recorded the feet of humans walking close to the harbor. A hastily made sketch was created and published in the newspaper, but the original slab was unfortunately discarded. Of course, go figure. The workers were preoccupied with digging and the tunnel on a tight deadline, and many people at the time didn't consider the importance of this artifact. It's likely that there are still countless artifacts hidden in the Toronto secret tunnels to this day, which is quite possible. It's well known that many urban adventurers go in, and they have. Yes, I would love to get into them. I've never been able to in Toronto, but one of these days, who knows? Into the tunnels every year to scour the underground network for anything interesting. Their experiences are largely unrecorded, as their quests are technically illegal. However, it's very likely that adventure seekers are coming across the unknown all the time in these secret passageways. Perhaps they are finding evidence of ancient human activity in the area, or maybe they're having unexplained encounters with the monkey-like creature that Ernest saw over 40 years ago. The only certainty is that Toronto tunnel system continues to hold compelling secrets right beneath the feet of millions of residents who pass over these hidden caverns every single day. And it's true. It is true. It's very true. So there you go. Smuggler's Cove, cool places and spooky. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of crazy stuff on YouTube. Is it believable? I don't know. And in this day and age, it's really tough to really weed out the what's real and what's not. Unfortunately. But that's my experience with the Credit River creature, as I coined it many years ago. That's my take on it. A weasel can dig small burrows or widen existing holes, while more monkey-like creature would be far more likely to excavate deeper, den-style shelters, or use caves rather than yeah. I mean, my like I said, my experience with what I saw, it was probably, given the height of the tree it was standing in front of, was probably about 5 feet in height when it stood on its hind legs. And it stood on its hind legs for almost 10 minutes before it decided to drop down and scurry off. It didn't scurry off, it just gingerly walked like not a care in the world. It was the weirdest thing. Like I said, I just, to this day, I've tried everything. I've talked to people, people, vets. I've talked to hunters, people who might have experienced or encountered or witnessed something, or explain to me, is it quite possibly something that's mangy, a mangy bear? But the thing is, there are no bear in that area. Take care, Tony. Thanks again for popping in. Always good to see you, buddy. Take care. Sent you a clip on Discord. I believe it is real. Okay, I'll look at it in a bit. Sloths tend to leave small soil mounds outside shallow burrows from digging or hunting rodents. While a more monkey-like animal would more likely create larger. Yeah, it's weird. By the way, again, I want to thank those who have become members, and the super chats. Thank you guys. 2 out of 10. Come on, guys. Let's reach that 10 super chat mark. Let's do it. The link is there for those of you who want to come in. By all means. Hold on. Hold on, sorry. Let's see here. I'm just going to scour something here. Just checking. Oh no. Okay, I don't. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Close. I just want to. I'm just looking at. Okay, sorry about that. Just reading a text here. Sorry. Thank you, Michael, by the way. I don't see it. I didn't see it. I don't know where the hell. Well, let me just see. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. Oh, okay. I see it, Michael. Thank you. Thank you again. I do see it. I do see it. I went into an area. Okay. Let me just go back. And yeah, let me just double check here. I just want to double check something. And yeah, I don't see it must be early on in the chat. But Michael, thank you. I did not see that. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. And thanks, Alex, for pointing. Yep. Hold on. Okay, so there we go. Click the link. Somebody click the link. You don't want to hear me ramble on about my experiences. I'm sure you guys have one. Click the link. Let us know. Or you don't have to. Maybe it's somebody you know that had one. I mean, I'll go into my shadow person experience. Uh, my shadow person experience. I've shared this before too, but I'll share it again for those who may not have heard it before. But during some work that we were doing with the city, we were doing work with the city on an old abandoned pioneer cemetery. Uh, that had actively been sitting unattended to and it wasting away, and it was really sad to see it in its state when we found it. And ah, James, look out! Alex is burrito slinging. Look out, buddy! It's burrito slinging. Um, actively sitting abandoned and weathered and destroyed. Um, the pioneer the cemetery itself was last in use, I think, up until the early 1920s. It it was first a family plot, and then as the area around this family had, you know, grown a bit, it became a community burial spot for the local families. And it's propped up on a hill. Alex knows where it is. Alex Chad, he knows which one I'm talking about. I don't want to give away too much about it because I, honestly, I don't like, location, because I mean it's vulnerable. It's been vandalized. So it's really sad that people still take it upon themselves to destroy history. But anyhow, we were helping the city in, actively documenting who might be buried there, because I mean, the only records of the people that were buried there, even the historical society and the city didn't have proper records for this place, and it really a shame. A independent researcher took it upon herself, or himself, sorry, to do a lot of research on this particular area, contacted a lot of the families, ancestors of a lot of the families that were buried there, finding out more information and documenting by going up there and, like, documenting. Hey, Mark, how are you? pop on up. You're more than welcome to pop up too as well. Anyone is. Um, Documenting the names of the stones that were you were able to see, and this was I think in the 80s, the late 80s. This person put together a manual, a document on the people that they were able to, you know, see who was buried there through the stones, and a lot of the stones. And later on, we actively tried to raise funds to have the um the cemetery renovated, like, brought back to life, if you will, repurposed and cleaned up. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it, but it did spark the interest of people who, a group here, Loyalist Society of Ontario, because the main family that was buried there, they were loyalists. So they were loyal to the crown at a time when the US was actively at war with the Brits. And a lot of those still loyal to the crown fled the US and came to Canada. And this one prominent family settled right there and became, that's the name of this cemetery, that the last name of this particular family. They were loyalists. So the existing loyalist um, group here in Ontario took it upon themselves to fit the bill to actively clean up the cemetery, like literally clean it up, taking all the bushes out and just everything, repurposing the all the stones, connecting them back, and giving them the rocks. A lot of them were in bad shape and broken. They put them back together, put them in steel rebar framing so they wouldn't fall apart. There was a family monument that was knocked over. uh, I tried fixing it, but somebody knocked it over again. Sadly, they fixed that. There was a wrought iron family plot that had been buried. You could still see the fencing, and it's really cool. The fencing was made with framing of a weeping willow, very haunting looking, and it was fixed, and that whole plot was cleaned out, and there was actually two more stones found in that small little area. There was, when they cleaned all the brush and all the bushes from the existing boundary of this little small cemetery. I'm getting up to my experience with the shadow person. I'm just giving you a sort of a scenario of this particular area. And there were stones discovered after so many years that were hiding in the brush along the sides of the boundary fence, the old boundary fence. And they were brought back and positioned to where they thought they were originally buried through ground penetrating radar. So all that was all fixed, and it looked amazing. They did an amazing job. And, in fact, what's scary though is I went back up there probably during during the vid to look at it, to see how it was making out, and sadly it had been vandalized again. After all that work that these people put in and paid for to make it look beautiful and worthy again, had been destroyed by some assholes who took it upon themselves to, literally destroy, you know, important history. It's history. And it's so fragile. It's fragile when it's brought back, and it needs to be taken care of. And it's sad. It's really sad that people would carry out this sort of meaningless farce. It's horrible. It's just too bad. But anyways, we were up there about 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is literally in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there is the house that was a part of the family heritage of this particular pioneer cemetery. The family home was still there. It's no longer there. It was torn down, which is a shame. Made way for progress, if you will. A millionaire decided to fucking destroy the house rather than have it relocated. Scary. All right, Alex, take care, bud. Um, it's sad because, again, a vital piece of the history of that particular area. But anyways, it's farmland. So the houses are far and few between in this area. Of course, it's in an area still where it's not quite built up. I mean, there's been houses built in the area over the years, but it's not a lot. There's still quite a distance between homes in this area. And it's still like country roads, if you will. I mean, they're not dirt roads, but they're paved, but they're only small. So we're up there about 1 o'clock in the morning, and it cooled down, so there was a little bit of a mist going on. And we walked up the hill to get to the cemetery, because you got to walk up this hill. And then, there's 5 of us. 2 of us decided to go to one area where all the children are buried. There's a lot of children buried in this particular cemetery because, again, this is at a point in history when smallpox and influenza really took a toll on people, and primarily children. So there was quite a lot of children who had passed away at young ages buried there. And in particular, around this one plot in the back corner, and what we call the CABAL lot, because it was the Campbell family. And the other guys, the other 3 decided to go to the front of the small little cemetery to do. We were all going to do some EVP work and just you know see what we can get, kind of thing. So as myself and the one other person I was with walking to the far corner, I'm snapping pictures, and I'm snapping pictures, and I always review the pictures right away. That's the way it was. That's the way I am. Actively looking at the pictures right away, and something wasn't clicking. So what's going on here? Wait a sec. How come there's wait? How come there's only okay? There's 2 people. Wait a sec. Who's with me here? What's going on here? I'm taking pictures, and there's one person in the picture, but I'm seeing 2 people. There's a person in between us. Who's with us? I took another picture. Same thing. What the hell's going on here? This is crazy. Okay, maybe I'm casting a shadow. No, it's not that. I mean, it's not moving when I'm moving. It's just it's its own separate entity. I call out to the guy in front, Mike, what's going on? Where's so and so? Oh, he's at the front there with the other guys. Then who's with us? And as soon as I said that, the person that was in between us, that was in the photos, walked off towards the corner and veered off and completely disappeared. And I'm like, what the hell? Did I just witness a shadow person? Wow, that's insane. So, but what my thought was, okay, it's just the light because there was a street light down below. It had to be my shadow casting. It had to be. There's absolutely no way I just witnessed the shadow person. So we went back down to try to recreate it. We walked up the same route, blah blah blah, did the same thing. Bang, nothing. Absolutely nothing. My shadow wasn't casted from the light in that direction in the mist. It was the weirdest thing. Did I just witness a shadow person? Quite possibly, because there was nobody else there with us. And a person to walk off into the corner, there's a fencing along the barrier. You would have heard them climb the fence to get over, and we would have saw them. We would have saw them. Even with the mist, it was not that thick. We would have saw them, walk off in the distance, but nothing. Strangest thing, wasn't it? Was it indeed a shadow person? Never know. Never know. Quite possible. Lots of things have happened there. I mean, I don't normally think about cemeteries as being haunted or places where I would look for ghosts or spirits or whatever. I wouldn't actively go to a cemetery because my train of thought is, why would they go there? Why wouldn't they go when they die? Or why wouldn't they go to a place that they remember or the last place of existence? Why would they go to a cemetery when the body, the spirit has separated? If that's the case, if that's what happens, the body is no longer, the physical vessel it's dead, it's gone. So why would you go to a cemetery other than it being creepy at night? And that's all. Go looking for ghosts or spirits. I don't know. It was never a thing for me to do. I never thought. I mean, other than taking some great photography, you know, I never thought it was ever a great. You do hear of weird things that do happen in cemeteries. Yeah, absolutely. But it comes with the terrain, right? It does. How many wandering spirits are there drifting about around us every day? It's our energy that lights up them at random. Yeah, you think about it, right? I mean, humans have been here for X amount of millions of years or thousands of years or whatever. I mean, think about how many spirits would be wandering around. Lots, if that's the case. If that's the case, you know, I don't know. Okay, I'll be right back. I just got to take a short break. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right. Hey guys, welcome welcome back. Welcome me back. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let me look at chat. Should be a caveman knocking about. How many? That's the thing, caveman. I mean, I wonder if they knew that about the spirit world, if you will, if they had that, these Neanderthal people had that sort of thinking thought process. Probably not. The demon must have freedom. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ah. All right. Once again, I want to thank everybody who's okay. I'm going to get rid of this poll now. So the poll is going to end at there you go. I think it goes in chat and let you know. So there you go. The poll is 56 in favor of yes, and 44 in favor of no. Have not had an experience that haunts them to this day out of 34. 34. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So once again, the links there. If somebody wants to pop on up, I'll go for a little while longer. Don't be bashful. Just read the chat. Okay. So that's my experience. I mean, I've had other experiences while investigating the paranormal, if you will, while investigating, if you will. I've had lots of experiences. And I don't know, guys, what do you think? Do you think you're more open to these experiences because you're actively looking for stuff? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I found that a lot of my experiences happened when I started researching and investigating. It seemed that things opened up a little bit more, maybe because you pay more attention to it. You learn more through experience. I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios as to what might be playing out. Who knows? I mean, I just chalk it up to just because I'm actively looking at this more extensively than I might have been, obviously, when I wasn't. And I think a lot of us who do investigate the paranormal actively do have these, except for Alex. Well, you give him a few burritos, he experiences a lot of stuff, but not ghosts. But I don't know. I just don't know. I really don't know how to chalk it up. But I don't know. Should I pull it? I don't know. Maybe ask the question. Do you think people who investigate the paranormal have more experiences, personal experiences, than those who don't? I don't know. I mean, is that a question to ask? I mean, has anybody? I'm sure people have done research on this. Obviously, is it just because we're more open to it? I mean, over the years, I've become more and more skeptical with a lot of stuff, obviously, and that's healthy. I mean, that happens once you've experienced a lot of this stuff firsthand, but that doesn't mean you don't have the experiences anymore. All that means is you can probably explain better some of these experiences, explain away these experiences better than you would, as opposed to before. Had a random experience while just hanging out in my parents' backyard, just growing up in the Bridgewater. Yeah, that is so fucking cool, Ryan. I love that, man, that you grew up close to the Bridgewater Triangle. Most people have some kind of, yeah. I started YouTube because I had many experiences, usually wasn't looking for it. And that's cool. I mean, that's awesome. I wish, I mean, like I said, I wish I had more experiences when I was younger, but like I said, I had experiences, but, I told you a couple, but nothing crazy. I mean, yeah, obviously when I saw my bedroom that one day, and, oh my God, this is scary. This is really scary. I'm sorry, man. I'm having a nightmare now. How's it going, James?
The second scariest thing, Alex was already here.
Yeah, exactly. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good. How you been?
Good, good. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. So what's new exciting? You guys had a pretty good show there last night on Loris.
Appreciate you showing up. Yeah, it was actually really fun. You know me, I love talking about that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's it's a good thing. I mean, I do enjoy watching and listening to people talk and discuss this because I mean, let's face it. I mean, we're all students. We're all learning.
Yeah.
We're all trying to understand what is going on. Obviously, some of us have a little bit more knowledge about certain things than others, and that's great. But I mean, let's face it, it's great. So what's up? Yeah, you had an experience you wanted to share.
Uh, well, the one I've shared with you before, the one when I was a kid, the events that happened in that bedroom. Uh, Not like that, guys. Calm down. Uh, no, I've for a few weeks that I can't remember what time of the year. I think it was during the summer. Yeah, because there was no school. That's right. Uh, hey, Ryan. But it was during summer. I started hearing these voices, and it sounded like a radio station that was kind of in between channels on an AM station where you hear a bunch of voices talking, maybe some music, just garbled. Couldn't tell what was being said, and I would hear it coming from the bedroom in the hallway. But anytime I would get up in the night and look down the hallway, see what's going on, see if because I could look straight down the hallway and see the TV in the living room, see if my dad was awake watching TV. Every time I would get up, noise would stop, and of course, TV's been off.
Mm-hmm.
A couple times I actually got up and put my hand on the TV to see if it had been on, because it was an old tube type TV, and it got hot. That thing was a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was never on. It was always cold. So a couple nights I would sleep in the living room, and it would be the reverse. I would hear it down the hallway toward the room. It was always in the hallway.
Yep.
So I tried telling my parents, and they do what every loving parent does. Oh, it was just a car going down the highway. No, it was just a neighbor playing music.
Yep.
No, it was you dreamed it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to comfort a kid because I was 10, 11 years old. I was scared out of my wits there. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how's it going, Michael? Look at this guy. He finally came up. It took him how long, but he finally came up.
Finally.
It's been a while, man. I haven't been on since earlier this year. Alex messaged me on Discord. He's like, go on the show.
There you go. There you go. Okay, go ahead, James. Sorry.
Yeah, Mike, I was just telling him about the event that got me into the paranormal.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think so at the time. But no, I was going to prove it to him that I'm hearing these voices.
Yep.
So before I even never heard of the word or the phrase EVP, but I had it was about this big. It was a micro cassette tape recorder, and really big. Tape's only tiny, but it had pretty good sound quality. And on the microphone, I had been given a ham radio microphone. Then I just had soldered a tip on there and just plugged it in. This thing could hear a mouse fart across the room. It was sensitive, very sensitive. So before I went to bed, set that thing in there, hit record, keyed down the microphone. Little light was flashing, so I knew it was recording. Nothing. No voices. Nothing happened that night. Nothing on the recording except the dog snoring. So I'm like, okay, well, what if I am just imagining this?
The dog's
You know,
going, you are imagining things, James.
or so I thought.
So, yeah.
Because the next night, yeah, that's when everything went crazy. It was around 3 a.m., of course.
Mhm.
I started hearing it like really, really loud, and it wakes me up. So I'm thinking that my radio alarm clock is messed up.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping switches and stuff with my eyes closed, and nothing's working. I pull the power cord out. I was still hearing it, so I grabbed it and I threw it because I'm starting to freak out at that point. And of course, it falls apart. It didn't have any screws in it. It falls apart on the floor. And that's when it dawned on me, hey, this is coming from the room, not the radio. So I did what any 10-year-old would do. I put the pillow over my head, pull the blanket up over me, because they can't get through the blanket.
Yeah, that security blanket, right? Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Could still hear them, and I felt something moving at my feet, and I'm thinking,
wow.
I thought it was the cat.
Oh, okay.
Cat's not going to come in a haunted room, right? Yeah, sure. So I move everything off. I look down there, and I start to call the cat, and it wasn't a cat. And I tried to focus my eyes. The room's a little dark, and I see something move, and then I see something else move, and I noticed that it was feet. The imprint of a foot was appearing on top of the blanket, and it was slowly walking up the bed towards my head.
Was it like a human foot or like an animal foot? As you said,
it was small, like a child's foot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was like a human foot. And I didn't go back into the bedroom for at least a week. Wouldn't go in there. During the day, I might go in there to get my clothes, to change clothes, but I was not, wouldn't go back in there for nothing. And that's when my parents were kind of like, something happened. And ever since then, I have been trying to find out, what was that? What the heck did I experience?
I was going to say, with your knowledge now, with what you've experienced and what you've sort of gained knowledge-wise, how would you explain that exactly?
Well, it's called phantom chatter.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty creepy.
Yeah, I mean, there's few people have heard these, but coupled with the footprint and everything else, they haven't had that I've heard. Not saying that it didn't happen, but a lot of people, they don't want to come forward with their stories.
No, because they think they're going to be looked at crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the beginning when people asked me, I heard you ghost hunt, and I never looked at it as ghost hunting. I never looked at it like that. To me, it was paranormal investigating, right?
Right.
Talking about trouble. We got more trouble here. How's it going, Mark?
More trouble.
So I never actively looked at it as ghost hunting, but I mean, people would ask me, so I hear you ghost hunting. I go, if you want to put it that way, sure, that's what I do. Yeah. And it never bothered me to tell people that's what I did, because I always found that maybe in the beginning people were like, you're crazy, and that's absolutely fine. I don't mind that you think I'm crazy.
Right.
But then that crazy turned into, wow, that's interesting. Wow, because they would never do that. No, I would. No, absolutely not. I wouldn't get mixed up in that shit. No way. You're crazy. The crazy, it was a cool crazy now,
Right.
So.
Absolutely.
Some of my family members think I'm a little crazy for like when I actually on a haunted location, like I was at the IGH hotel doing what I was doing, and it's like nothing's going to happen really. It's just mainly listening, waiting for something to happen for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's a healthy crazy, I suppose. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, how about you, Mark? I'm sure you've had some really weird experiences in your sort of adventure with the paranormal.
Too many.
Yeah. I mean, did you want to share one?
Yeah, it is very strange. First I'm gonna go all the way back to your first point of if you're actively looking to get more. Some people actually think that if you are like sort of within like on a spectrum like ADHD or autism or Asperger's or neurodivergency, you
Yeah.
actually bring in more. Some people believe that as well. I've ADHD and I got the A, B, C, D, E, F, D's all the way to Z. Is what I've got.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I've caught and captured all sorts of weird things. A lot of people struggle to then, because I still sit in this position where I'm like, right, I'm still open skeptic. Yes, I've just seen a item go across the room, but I don't want to do the whole classic Gap of the Gods type thing, where just because I don't understand it, I don't need to then give it a mysterious reason. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there are weird things that happen out there, like without a shadow of a doubt.
That's what I love about your ghost hunting is you don't overreact over ridiculous stuff and then claim on your thumbnail that you were almost attacked by a demon.
Yeah.
You're honest about it. I love it.
I love it when people actually go out there and look for the sound too, instead of just like jumping to conclusions and stuff, like saying, "Oh, that's automatically a ghost."
Exactly.
I mean, everyone gets a bit flustered with it. I had a conversation today because I recently captured what looks like your classic ghost. Really, looks like a misty figure walking through the forest, and everything in every single book says, "Oh, that's an apparition mark." Whereas I'm going, yeah, but it could be this, maybe no. Is it? And it's like they're like, Mark, right? Either it is there or it isn't. You can't keep sitting on the fence. Which is it? And I'm just like, I don't know. It's bizarre.
Right. And there's completely natural things like I don't know if y'all have them over there, and I know you've seen one, Michael. We have a mushroom that it'll grow to a certain size, and then it'll just burst open and shoot.
Oh,
yeah, it'll shoot spores up in the air, and if you don't know what it is, you'll think you have an apparition there for a second. But I have seen them blow up in the middle of summer, and they just poof. It's just a little cloud. So what if that happens at night? What's your flashlight going to make it look like?
Tons of wards popping up.
Yeah. Yeah, on your camera, yeah, you get tons of spots on that.
So but those sorts of things you can, is it this, is it that? I mean, in the video itself, I go, oh, it's probably just round mist that's just coming up off of the, where it's getting, it's that sort of time of the year where it gets like, there's mist that forms at the bottom because it gets cold still at night and it's been warm in the day. So I've like could have that been brought up and across. Person I was with, these funny, like it's not ground mist, it's people mist because it looks like it's walking through the trees. Which have you seen it?
Something similar, yeah.
It is a really. I'll show you because I'm on my phone.
Okay.
If you want to see? This is my latest thing. Okay, let me spin this round. You get to see my crazy computer. There it is. How good's that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. So look here.
That's almost like a.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Like a vape puff, but you're not vaping out there.
No, he's not.
It almost looks like a little bit of fog, kind of right here.
And people are saying it looks like it's walking through, and then it sort of dissipates instantly. And that's the other angle. That's the other angle of the person that I'm filming. And nothing comes from his mouth here.
Wow.
And that's the full view. So that's the zoomed out version. You can see it in the distance there. Obviously, on the channel, it's a lot better.
Did he breathe out? Could you see your breath that night?
there was odds and ends at times where you could, and instant, because I was filming this at the time.
Yeah.
So within the instant, I went, because his name's Josh, I went, Josh, breathe out. And he went, and I didn't see it. And at which point I went, oh, come here. And obviously, like, I then watched it back in the moment, and we were trying to recreate it, and we couldn't. And
yeah, because at one angle, you see where it comes right from his head and not before it. So it would look like, he breathed out and like that, but I didn't see any before or after.
No.
So that's what's weird right there.
There's also a section earlier on where it's like smoking and stuff, and the secondary camera that you see, you can see it visibly coming from him, and there's nothing visibly coming from him on that. So I was like, I don't know. That's the latest mad experience, if that answers your question, Steve.
It's fascinating.
Go ahead, Michael. You were going to say something?
I just said it was very fascinating. I was agreeing with James.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely very fascinating, and that's the thing. I mean, I know us and many others will actively, logically try to explain now. Logically explain what is happening, and of course, there's a lot of cases that you simply can't. I mean, there's no possible explanation other than, okay, what just happened, and that's it. I mean, but that's not to say that there isn't somebody out there that may know a little bit about what just may have caused the experience that you've had, that has a greater knowledge in that. I mean, I was investigating an old farmhouse, and I remember doing an EVP session, just sitting there in the front parlor room. And for those who may not know what a parlor room, back in the day, they were used for funeral viewings, because many people did not have the money to, go to a funeral home or whatever else. They would actively just have the viewings at home, and usually in the front parlor room. So I was sitting in that front parlor room, and back in the day, children were not allowed in that room. They weren't allowed, only adults only. Children were never allowed in that room. And I love saying this, I'm as psychic dumb as they come, because I'll tell you right now, I was sitting there, and I just had this overwhelming feeling that there might be children in the room. I don't know what it was, I just had that sense. So I said, okay, why not? Why don't I just open up my questioning or comments to children? Are you in this room? Are you playing games, hide and go seek? You're not supposed to be in this room. You'll get in trouble if your parents find out. Hi, my name is so and so. This is what I'm doing. If you want to say something, I have these devices that may be able to record you and maybe allow me to communicate with you and all that sorts of stuff, right? And within minutes, and in this farmhouse, all the windows were closed. It was the dead of summer, August. It was very, very hot out, very humid. Here it gets very humid. And not straight heat, but humidity. It plays a major factor. And it was pretty warm because all the windows were closed in the house. And I'm sitting there and asking these questions, and then all of a sudden, my shirt's tugged like this. Like literally like that. And I'm like, I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to make sense of that. I'm like, okay, there's no wind. There's nothing by me that would cause my shirt to go like that. And I'm like, how do you explain that? You sit there and like, this is not making sense to me. So anyways, I had the guys look at all the cameras that we had trained in there and the audio. And there was a an EVP, I have it somewhere, but an EVP, what sounds like a female who might be drained of energy or very sick or very, the energy is zapped and quite literally like trying to form words to say, but they don't have enough energy to form them. And it was just the weirdest, most haunting, creepy feeling I've ever had. I mean, how would you explain, Mark, something like that?
Well, I've been to an old farm. Chris, who used to be part of the team, and then he went like to this side channel. It was me and him in this farm, and we were going off the back of a story. We were just like, probably nothing could happen here. And we were getting odds and ends of like weird stuff, the usual creaking, banging, that sort of thing. And we were both wearing like asbestos masks. I can't find one where they are. But basically, the straps go around the ears, and then it's got a metal bracket in here, which like holds it in place.
Yep.
So it sits on your nose, and it sits about that far away from your mouth. So it's like a tongue distance. Your tongue can't reach the other end. And on video, he's filming like this, his face like this with the camera, and the mask gets pulled from his face, and you see it tugging on his face, and then it slips off his ear and it falls off, and then he freaks out.
Wow.
So, how do you explain it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. There's those situations that it defies logic. And that's when you sit there and go, you know, and I'm sure you guys are the same way. You have all these scenarios running through your head, but none of them compute. They just don't make sense.
Yeah, like the other day in one of my live streams, I was talking about like one of my previous experiences I had, like in the woods and stuff. And while I was talking about such experience, this hiking stick right here that you see, kind of gradually just like went like that by itself. Now, if it were to fall, it would like just made a noise. So I told Alex about it, and Alex was like, "That's freaking crazy, dude."
Yeah,
so he saw the footage, and it was like, "Wow!" I wasn't even aware it happened at the time. I heard nothing. There were no vibrations or anything.
Yep.
And my animals were like on my bed. So I didn't even realize it until my dad texted me after the show. And he said, "I saw your hiking stick move." I was like, "What the hell?"
Well, there you go. There's a good short. You should make it into a short and put it up. Let people see it. Yeah, that's it's insane when stuff like that happens, because I mean it just doesn't make sense. And those are the moments that really make me, keep me, in the loop. Because I'll say one thing: I have become more and more skeptical over the years, and that's only because you learn a lot more.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean I don't believe. I do. I highly believe there's a lot going on. A lot of it we can't explain. Science just can't explain to this point. But I mean, I do believe there is something going on. Obviously, I mean, So
I want to know how it works. Though.
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily. I think you can go from. I mean, it's quite a leap to go from. Right, this is a ghost. I think you need to do it in steps, because before you can say what it is, you need to say how it's doing it. In my opinion, whatever the thing is, it's doing it. Like pulling a mask or pulling your trousers. I got pushed once. Like physically felt like someone went like that on my shoulder, and my whole shoulder went like this.
Yeah.
And when people speak of ghosts and stuff, it's hypothetically, let's say it's a ghost, they speak of, things without weights. So how can a force without weight put a force onto me, which is something that would require weight to do? So the physics is fusing.
Yeah.
There are theories.
And that's the thing. There are theories. People do actively look at this stuff and take it seriously, because let's face it. It is serious. A lot of this. I mean, it's an age old question. I mean, everybody's interested or thinking about a life after death. What happens? I mean, that's the biggest question. What happens?
Mhm.
And that's like an open-ended question that we have been thinking about since the dawn of man. We can openly think about, theorize what happens, but we don't know. And that question has expanded into this world that we call the paranormal, because a lot of people actively believe that the key to answering much of this zone, if you will, this massive unknown certainty, a cloud around us, is will be answered when we know what happens after death, life after death, or what happens, right?
I think there's
Yeah,
rules where we can't where we can't find out.
Well, you do eventually, right, when your time comes.
No, I
But
mean in
do
the
we?
sense of like, because we everything that happens with like involving like these paranormal or whatever you want to call it anomalies, it almost feels like you get things sometimes when it's not perfect. There's always a what if, and a lot of people might suggest that this entity or whatever it is has a set of rules where it can't literally just go, "Hi, this is me and this is what I am," and therefore it's restricted in some way.
some of those answers, well, they say they're answers. This is actually mentioned in the Spirits book by Allan Kardec. This was written back in the 1800s. And it actually talks about that they're not supposed to be interfering with this world, and the ones that are the ones breaking rules. So, and that's interesting. But as far as something missing, something intangible to us becoming tangible, and pulling your sleeve or pushing on your arm or playing with my hair like I had happen in the cemetery. There's another book written in the 1800s called Flatland. Guy's name was Abbott that wrote that, and it was an interesting story. It was a thought experiment. What would happen if a third dimensional being interacted with a two-dimensional world? Yeah, you've read this before, haven't you, Mark?
I've not read it, the specific book, but I've looked into this concept quite a lot.
Yeah. It's a humorous book. It's really great. It really is. So if you're looking for something interesting to read, it is well worth it, because it touches on a lot of subjects. But the way the third dimensional being, which was a human, was talking to the square in 2D world, it was looking down on it, and it could see the inside of the house, the outside of the house, all the rooms, inside the shapes that were in there. It could see all of it, and it was talking down to the shape, not talking down to it, but talking to the shape, and the shape was like, I can't see you. I'm probably just crazy. This is all in my head. Can you show yourself to me? So the human takes his finger and he puts it through the two-dimensional plane. And from the perspective of the two-dimensional being, this thing just appeared out of nowhere. This circle just expanded. And then whenever he pulled his finger back, it just collapsed. Because you can only get a cross-section of a third-dimensional being in a two-dimensional world. So what if spirits are of a higher dimension? We can't perceive them, but they can interact when they choose, and we only get to see a cross-section of them because we can't perceive the other dimensions. A theory.
Well, it's funny how how we've sort of evolved to this point now. When we look at all this, and we've evolved quite a bit. I mean, still a lot of stuff is pretty stagnant, but I mean, there are things that have kind of opened up actively in that explanation. It's like, okay, hey, is this are we talking about a different dimension that we're dealing with here? I mean, do we when we, pass through that sort of portal, if you will, that the death phase is not the death phase. It's actually you hear all these theories like it's real life. We're purgatory waiting for real life, if you will. It's that transition. I mean, there are so many. It's like again, you look at the Tibetan monks and how they looked at it. You let go. If you can let go of all things tangible, physical, and just let it go, you move on to enlightenment. I mean, there's
Mhm.
all sorts of ways of looking at this, and we have looked at it. I mean, but yet we just don't know, and that, I think, makes it exciting. Exciting, to better understand what might be happening. I mean, does it make you less afraid of dying? Probably not. But I mean, when your time comes, It's
Yeah,
how
because you're fearing the unknown.
you're fearing the unknown. But then, does it become less unknown when you understand it a little bit more? Right?
There
I
was someone
mean,
talking about this, and they were saying that, well, it was somebody. This isn't fact. This is just someone's opinion, and they were saying that when you have a dream, when you're dreaming, sometimes your dream will feel like hours, and then you might wait, and only 20 minutes has gone past. Sometimes your dreams seem so vivid and real,
mhm.
you think that is your reality, and you wake and go, hang on, that wasn't my reality, that was a dream.
Mhm.
And this person suggests that when you die, it's like just waking from a dream, and life itself will feel like the dream. That's what the idea was of this individual. Also, if there is higher dimensions, they wouldn't be restricted to time. So
That is one thing people say when they passed away in near death experiences is time stopped. That's the first thing they notice.
Mhm.
Now they can still watch events play out, but to them it feels like time is not affecting them. They're
Yeah.
just watching it.
I've heard that too. I nearly had one like when I was like born, so I don't remember like what actually happened yet. But so I think it's kind of too long for me to tell. But I do believe in that theory right there.
Hold on, I got to fit in with the rest of y'all here.
Yeah, that's wait a sec. Yeah, he's the only guy with the glasses. What's going on here?
Yeah, these are. I can't see the screen with these.
Sorry, James. I'm used to being, a part of an all bald group here.
Yeah.
I'm the only bald guy here tonight, so sorry about that.
You, Matt, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, okay, how about being sat on a bench reading a book in the local castle grounds, and you get the feeling of someone leaning on your shoulder when you look around, thinking they're checking out your book alone. Interesting.
Yeah, you can keep that out. I'm not going to do that one.
Yeah.
there's an interesting thought with that in general, which some people suggest that, and I don't know if it's true or if there's any science behind it, or if it's literally just people saying this, but some people think that if you stare at somebody
Mhm.
enough, they will turn and look at you.
Yes, I have tried that myself.
Mhm.
And then it's almost as if they sense the fact you're intently looking at them in some sort of.
It's also
like
kind of
consciousness is beyond us.
this kind of also reminds me, like when you're sleeping and you could wake up when you feel like somebody's watching you automatically from afar, kind of like that.
I suppose
Oh, yeah.
when you're sleeping and you're on a journey somewhere, have you ever had it where you wake up before you actually, when you need to, not like your alarm hadn't gone off, but it's like your body just goes, "Jump, we're there now."
One of the weirdest dreams I had, I actually dreamed of the day before I woke up and had the day. My sister had this little white rabbit, and in the dream, the rabbit got out of the cage and ran around the yard and around the house. Couldn't
Was there a
catch it.
Mad Hatter? Was there a Mad Hatter?
No, not on this one. Yeah, he waited for the next dream. Uh,
He waited for the next dream.
so, and at the end of the dream, the rabbit had got back in the cage on its own, and we just shut the door. I got woke up by my sister hollering, "Oh my God, the rabbit got loose. I can't catch it." So I get up and I try to catch the rabbit because I got longer legs than she did. Chase it for 15 minutes till I'm out of breath, and I'm like, forget it. I can't chase this thing down. It can't get out of the yard. I'll try again in a little bit.
Mhm.
And about 4 hours later, we look outside and it's back in the cage on its own. Now, this isn't really surprising because she may have been yelling it from the outside and I picked it up in my dream. And logically, the animal's going to go back to where the food is. So that's possible. But I did have the dream before I had the day. And it just, everything played out the same. So it was weird. You know, how many times does that happen?
Well, at least the rabbit went back into the cage instead of making the neighbors think that they were hallucinating for seeing a white rabbit.
Right? Yeah, it was one of those rabbits with the red eyes. And it's totally white. You know, awesome. It was an awesome rabbit. Lived a few more years.
Is there not accounts of people having dreams prior to the Twin Towers and then not going to work that day?
Yeah,
A lot.
I heard quite a few about that. There's a lot of really odd scenarios around that event. Yeah, but you get that, I think, with a lot of tragedies. I mean, I think the Titanic being one. I mean, there was a few around the Titanic, I believe, too, that they had some sort of feeling or dream or some scenario saying, "Don't get on that boat because." I mean, is it one of those? You know, you look at the scenario with the town of Point Pleasant and the Mothman. You know, there's harbingers of fate. Telling you, warning you, and signs and people ignoring it, and tragedy happening. I mean, who knows? I mean, is there that sort of scenario playing out? And we just don't know it. I mean, is that a reality?
Possibly. And then you have the people that are completely unlucky. There was a woman who was a nurse on the Titanic. She survived. She was in a boat. But she was also on the Lusitania.
Oh, wow.
She survived that.
Wow.
And lived to tell the tale. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I mean, both of them as a nurse.
Yeah.
Insane.
Insane.
I wouldn't get on any more boats if I was her.
No.
I
might wind up like the SSS Minnow.
Yeah. I actually this past summer, last July, we were in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we visited the Titanic grave site.
Nice.
Yeah, which was really a really harrowing sort of feeling. It's really weird because it is the stones are laid out like the bow of the Titanic.
Oh wow.
It's really, really surreal when you see this like firsthand, and the people who perished on there that were obviously found, and I don't want to say they weren't rescued obviously because they had perished already, but then obviously there's a lot of people still that they don't know who they are, right? I think there's still a few unknowns, especially children. That were on the Titanic that they have no idea.
I have heard that they had like some sort of artifacts and stuff along with the Titanic too, like possibly a mummy or something was involved.
You never know. And imagine those who probably snuck on the Titanic. I mean, there was probably that scenario with somebody. Maybe, hey, I can't take the trip here, take my ticket sort of thing, or snuck on, stowaway, and think of their luck, right? I mean, wait a sec, and they perished, and people don't know who they are because they weren't supposed to be on the boat.
Jack. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I remember Windows 98.
Oh
We had
wow.
a Windows 98 computer.
Windows 98.
And you could go to the store and get these games on CDs. Well, this had 2 CDs to the game. It was a Titanic called Adventure Out of Time. It was a complete 3D reconstruction of the entire ship, and you could go around and you could mess with stuff on the ship in the game. It was awesome. You could go into the radio room and mess with the radio, but you had to do all this and mess with everything in there to get clues, because you're trying to find out who's smuggling something, who the murderer is. There was a couple different things you had to find out, but you play the game all the way through, up until the ship starts till it hits the iceberg and starts to sink, and then you have to find your way. Have to find your way off of the ship.
Wow. That's
For
yeah.
those folks that are watching, that was a CD.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I was trying to. I wasn't in time with you. You're like, get the. I was like, CD. I got one.
I got it. I
was like,
Exactly
I've got
what
games.
he's
I've
talking
got
about.
games from Windows 19. This is Duke Nukem.
Oh man.
Oh, nice. Hang on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. How those things become so.
I think the
worth a
first
lot of
computer
money.
we had was a floppy disk one, but it was like the old box computers from the 90s.
Oh wow. Yeah. Good old floppy disk. I remember documenting
miss 'em.
so much with floppy disk. And then
Oh yeah.
and then how easy it was to erase stuff from floppy. You're like, damn. Oh my fucking. Oh yeah.
Just get close to a magnet. It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Wait a sec. My whole life savings on this disc, it's gone. I had a whole bunch of this and that. Oh man, no, God.
Oh man,
I wish I was
those were the
smart.
fun days.
Oh, I know. Floppy disks. Oh wow.
I
Scary.
think I just dated myself a little bit.
Yeah, but people now are going, what the hell? What's a floppy? What are they talking about? What's a floppy disk?
Oh, hold that thought then. Okay, let me find out.
Yeah.
I had some. I lost all of them. All of my old, all of my old paranormal stuff, all gone in floods. And the only EVPs that I have left from before, they were online, thankfully, and I was able to download all of them again. But yeah, it was from that other group that I was with originally. And that's everything else. All the tapes that I did all the EVP recording on, all the microphones, everything just gone.
I have so much footage on mini DV and high 8 that I gotta transfer over into digital, and I'm having a terrible time with it. Kind of trying to use FireWire, but it's not working too well because it's not recognizing the cameras, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm trying to find out a good way to sort of transfer the video from the tapes, and it's pain in the butt.
What kind of tapes?
I've got tons of mini DV and high 8 digital high 8.
Okay, because I've got a VHS, VCR, and it's got a USB port on it. And you just plug it up to the computer, and it just registers like a webcam, and you just play it.
Oh wow,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
well,
I can plug it up in 2 years.
You
Wonder if it
can
works.
you can obviously buy the adapters too for mini DV, and
Yeah.
I don't know for mini DV. Is there adapters for mini DV?
Yeah.
Oh, there is. Okay, because I know
Yeah,
I have
all of them.
I have an adapter for digital high 8, I think. Or it might be
Actually, I have the actual camcorders in here that uses both of those tapes, and they work.
some. Oh
And
yeah,
you can use,
I
you
have
just do the video.
I have camcorders, but unfortunately, I can't. I see. What I used to do was I had a DVD recorder,
Okay.
and I used to hook the cameras up into the DVD recorder and record them on the disc, and
Nice.
then go through your Blu-ray player or whatever for the whatever computer. But now the cameras are fucked. And I went to get a mini DV camera, and it conked out on me. It's increasingly a pain in the butt.
They're getting harder to find because people
Yeah,
are collecting them.
people are collecting them, and they're charging a shitload of money for them now. It's ridiculous.
I'm trying to find a Polaroid camera where I can like
Yeah,
snap
and
photos while I'm out exploring and stuff.
These are very handy.
Yeah.
You can have an S video input in your RCA jacks, and it goes in, and this acts like a webcam kind of thing. You can record with that. So these are always handy to have.
Yeah,
This one's broke.
yeah.
Yeah, found out.
I
Did
bought
for
some
yesterday.
online for this.
But again, I gotta get cameras that work. I mean, my digital high 8 works. My mini DV doesn't. That's a pain in the ass. It just does not work.
I got one, but getting it to you might be.
I didn't find a floppy, but I did find a
Yeah.
mouse with a. I found a mouse with a ball on it.
Nice.
Wow.
That was always a joke back in the day that it was a male mouse. Well, how can you tell? It's got balls.
It's got balls. Yeah.
Nowadays, they come with batteries.
Well, nowadays they're all female.
Yeah.
No, don't throw them out, Ryan. Don't. Whatever you do, don't throw them out. It's funny. I collected VHS flicks for years, like especially horror flicks. And I've got like 2,500 titles. And actually, I had a guy approach me about selling one of them. It was like it's a title that is from a company that was strictly here in Canada that had the rights to release it for the Canadian market, and the rare. They didn't make as many of the tapes, obviously. And the guy's like, "Would you consider selling it?" And I'm like, I don't know. I guess. I mean, I wouldn't know how much to charge you. There's no actual, red book or blue book sort of pricing on this, like. And then and this guy's in Ireland actually, and he goes, "Well, you're in Canada, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, how's $1,000 sound?" "Yeah, sure, no problem." No problem. $1,000, sure. You want to pay that? Go ahead.
Okay.
But it is rare. I get it. And there are collectors that will pay big bucks for rare tapes. They will. If you got them. And I got a shitload of them. But the thing is, do I want to sell them? No, that's the thing. There's a lot of them I don't want to sell.
Same here. I got like some like out in the shed, but in like storage containers, so they're weatherproofed, and they're like VHS copies, still in like plastic wrap and cups. I used to collect them like every time we went to like Blockbuster or movie gallery, stuff like that. So they're still in like mint shape.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some. We're talking about big box clamshells. I'm talking about from the early 80s to mid 80s. I'm talking about some of the first, we're talking first, Halloween, the very first Halloween, the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the big clamshell. I have all of them. Friday the 13th, you name it. We're talking about first runs when they first came out on VHS. And it's like, there's so many incarnations. It's like, would you sell it? I probably would now. I mean, I have it on Blu-ray or whatever. It's just like, I mean, do I really need to hold on to them? Not all of them. Some of them I will, but I think getting rid of most of them I will eventually. Oh, we lost Michael.
Uh,
But
Original Halloween would probably be worth some.
it's worth a
That
crap load.
sign.
I saw somebody paying
Yeah.
like $1,200 for it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
wow.
a lot. If you get
Yeah.
it signed as well.
If you get it signed, and as long as it's not personally signed,
Yeah.
right? It's a different story.
Sorry about that. My cat made me hit the wrong button.
That's okay. Blame
Like go
your
to
poor cat.
conventions.
Can't fight back.
Spend a fortune in
It's right
conventions.
here.
to
It
get
just like
stuff signed.
nudged me. It's looking at me like, what now?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Betamax, laser
I was gonna
disc,
I was gonna say, admit we're telling our ages here. Don't do that.
Yeah, Betamax. Yeah. I still got
Well,
some
I'm
Beta.
gonna test you now on.
Here we go. Hell, I still have some. Oh my god. 8-track
Wow.
tapes, man.
Does anyone know? I'm gonna cover the name of this. What this is?
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Oh.
If anybody does, it'll be James or Steve.
Pong? Is it Pong?
I've seen it, but I don't
does have-
remember the name of it.
It does have Pong on it, and there's
Yeah, it
the
has
name
Pong
of
on it. Yeah. Okay.
It's
That's
not
a
an
different.
Atari, is it?
Okay,
No.
there was something similar to that. That's
Yeah.
I
There's a
think
few.
it was-
This is a Binatone. It was one of the very, very first ever
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
consoles made,
Yeah.
and it does indeed have Pong on it.
Yeah, Pong
Nice.
was on a lot of those variations. That was always one of the first kind of games. I remember Pong. Simple
Pong
game,
was
but
the first game.
yeah.
Yeah, Magnavox actually had it built into their TVs
Oh yeah.
at one time.
Yeah.
And then they come out with the Odyssey, which I had an
I'm-
Odyssey 1 and an Odyssey 2.
I had an Odyssey 1 too, exactly. That's where I remember it from.
Yeah, the Odyssey 2 came out. It had cartridges,
Yeah.
but they only ever made one cartridge because at the time they were trying to compete with Atari,
Mhm.
and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
But I also had an Atari 2800, I had Atari 7800, I had a box of games, had all the controllers for all these. All of it worked. Had original NES, not the Famicom, but the American Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to get a pretty good collection of those.
What was that? What was the one? I remember it came out years ago, and it was what the hell was the name? It was a small little black console, and it had everything was push buttons. What the hell was the name?
Wasn't Sega, I don't think.
No, this is way before Sega. This thing was, oh my god, this thing was. Oh, what the hell was the name of it?
I actually still have one of the, like a working copy of like the original Sega series from the 90s.
I still have ColecoVision.
Oh, wow.
I still got a whole bunch of ColecoVision in the games. Holy crap. Yeah, but no, this thing was, oh man, we're talking about years ago. This is, and you could actually write, you can write on these things. You can create files and stuff like that to write. What the hell was the name of the damn thing again? Oh, I'd have to look.
There was so many of them.
Yeah.
But that was the era where we were just starting to get good at the technology that we have today. I mean, we got to see what life was before all the modern conveniences.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a generation that we're dying out, because kids today will never know of a time before cell phones.
Exactly.
They'll never know of a time before AI. They'll never know of a time before, what's something else that we got to deal with all the time? Ads.
Yeah, when I went to go visit my sister and brother-in-law in Fort Campbell to keep that stuff at the IGH for the house guests, my youngest nephew, he's 14, he's like, Uncle Mike, did you have internet when you were growing up? I'm like, yeah, but it was on dial-up.
Dial-up, yeah. Good old dial-up. I'm looking.
stupid little dinosaur running around whenever you couldn't get a page.
There was a guy in the store, and he had the dial-up as his ringtone on his phone. And it was funny as heck. Everybody with gray hair in the room just started smiling.
Yeah.
They knew what it was. And everybody that had regular color hair was like, what is that noise? Which made everybody with gray hair smile more.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm talking about is I found it here. I'm like, I can't believe I actually found it. It was the where'd it go? There we go. Let me pull it up here. Wasn't that model?
That's awesome, Neil.
3 model. The Spectrum. Do you remember the Spectrum?
Spectrum.
Made by,
no, I don't know that one.
Our ZX Spectrum computer. It was known as the Sinclair. The Sinclair.
I haven't heard of the Sinclair.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you a look at it. Here's a look. Here we go. Oh, look at that. There you go.
Ah.
Yeah, my nephews wouldn't even know what a cassette tape was. That's how young they are.
Yeah, the ZX. Okay, that's why I admit knew about that. She was saying that she did some programming in that.
Yeah.
That is in my attic.
Oh, you have one of those?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
in the attic. I've got all the tapes down. These
You
are all
got
tapes.
gold.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
these are all
Wow,
the
look at
tapes.
that, eh?
They're not mine, they're my dad's, but
Wow, still.
I nicked them off him. I went, oh, they're mine now.
Yeah. Wow.
See, this was real computing back in the day.
So what are they doing up in the attic? He goes, what do you want? I'm like, just put them on my little stand over there.
Yeah, I see one here. The 128K ZX Spectrum Plus 2 had the tape deck with it.
Yeah. But that made the dial-up sound. That would...
Yeah.
And then
I
the
missed
game would
that.
go, vroom, and then you'd get about 30 seconds into the game, and it would out.
The one I had though wasn't that one. It was this guy here. This is the guy I had. This I'll show you. Hold on. I had the ZX81. Let me just. I remember I said the push buttons. Hold on. Where did we go here? Share
Getting
screen.
really nostalgic over here.
This guy right here. That's what I had. That's the one I had.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Yeah, that's the guy I had. And I remember when I first got it, I was so fucking confused with it. It took me a while to get the hang of it because of the coding. I'm like, fuck this coding. So
What language was it?
honestly, I couldn't tell you. I was never a computer guy, but I couldn't tell you the proper terminology for the coding on it. But it's just like, okay. And I all but gave up on it and said, fuck that.
Let's see, what language did that computer
Oh, yeah.
use?
You're looking at that as well. Print if.
Yeah, you had to buy magazines to learn the code. It's just, yeah, objects from the Titanic. Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. What a joke, huh? The Titanic. Oh my God, I feel so damn old. Wow.
8 KB ROM language. I've never heard of that.
8K?
8 KB ROM. Or, that
Oh,
might be why when you download, you shouldn't get these games on PC, and they're called ROMs.
yeah.
That might be
Okay,
why.
on the Sinclair, it was basic.
Yeah.
Sinclair, but so it had its own coding thing.
Yeah, it had its own coding, and I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. I just gave up. I'm like, fuck this. And it's funny because I wanted it so bad. And I remember my parents buying it for me for Christmas. And it's like, I remember fidgeting around with it going, okay, I'm not getting too far with this. Fuck this shit. Give me back the 2600. uh, uh,
Well, it's 70 quid on eBay if you want to have a crack at it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's it's funny because every once in a while I'll bring out the ColecoVision every once in a while, or not ColecoVision and television. Yeah, wow, some of those are relics. It's if there's like a massive atomic, well, we'll say nuclear blast that blast us back to the Stone Ages. Oh yeah, look at that.
I would go back to my storage room and show you guys the Sega Genesis, but it's like buried under stuff, so it's like too
Yeah.
hard to get to at the moment. But it's there. I had all the games like Altered Beast on it. World
Yeah, I
Cup.
used to love Altered Beast, man. That was great. I
Oh.
used to love that game.
I use this on my emulators, which
Yeah.
Nintendo and the Atari emulator, because it'll work as a joystick.
Yeah.
But you can get all these the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, whatever, all of them as a USB controller and just
Yep.
run it on an emulator.
Yep.
If you can't get the original
Are they compatible with RetroPie?
with a what?
RetroPie Linux system, which it's like it's its own emulator for every single retro game in existence.
If they take USB controllers, then yeah, because that's what these are.
You
Yeah,
guys
if they can
have
handle
Combi?
USB. Yeah,
The Combi. I don't recognize the Combi. I don't recognize that one.
I had this.
And then all of a sudden, Mark pulls out a Combi. The guy's got a computer
I don't know,
museum
I've
going
got-
on there.
I've got one of those I've got one of those drawers where it's
Yeah.
just got so much old stuff. There's just things in there where I'm like, I don't know why I haven't checked this out yet, but I'm one of these people where I'm like, well, you don't know, I might need that. I'm one of those people that just keeps everything.
Oh, me too.
Coffee drive somewhere.
Me too.
I don't know where that is.
I have a hard time throwing stuff away. It's I get in so much shit. It's like, get rid of that. There's no room for this. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm sorry.
I try to repurpose stuff. Like
Yeah.
I have this circuit board I had designed about 8 years ago or so. Never had any more uses for them. I only used one. When you make them, you got to order so many. So I did the minimum 5.
Mhm.
Made my board. It went to use. So now I use this as a set stuff on and cut with a razor blade.
Hey, if it works, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean it solid.
Yeah. It does the job.
Absolutely.
Does the job. Well, guys, I'm going to have to knock this out. I got to take my poor Ozzy out for a walk. He's crossing his legs, so I got to get him out.
Same here. My Luke is over here on the bed. She just slept with Rick. I don't know if you can smell and see my facial expression from in a second. That's why I looked at her like this.
But thank you very much, guys, for coming up. Really appreciate it, and always great talking with you all.
Absolutely.
And thank you, everybody in chat, and those of you who grabbed memberships and super chats. Thank you again, much appreciated. All of it will be going towards paying for StreamYard for a whole year.
Be sure to get you some lager with the $15.10 I sent you a newbies.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Michael. I don't know why I didn't see that. I'm like, I don't know. But thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And everybody else, thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. And like I said, more content will go to members only soon. Till then, guys, take care. And we'll see you Sunday with Ryan's Spookfest.
Don't miss it.
No, don't. So It's this Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 a.m. UK. Guys, take care. Stay strange. Gotta say, stay strange.
Hi guys.
Later, all. Good night.
Right.